strict, legally enforceable standards. Many other labels are designed by marketing departments rather than regulatory bodies. These ghost labels evoke health and purity without being backed by federal law. Understanding the organic myth means recognizing that while a product may be certified organic, it can still be packed with legally meaningless buzzwords that trick you into paying a health tax for standard industrial food. Here are 8 labels that are essentially meaningless under U.S. law. 1. All natural. The reality. In 2026, the term all natural remains the most widely used and most legally hollow label in the grocery store. According to current FDA guidelines, there is no formal definition for what natural means. The agency only has an informal policy stating that it expects natural foods to be free of added colors, artificial flavors, or synthetic substances. The loophole: this label does not cover food production methods. A product can be all natural while being produced using pesticides, genetic engineering, GMOs, or heavy processing like pasteurization and irradiation. Processing myth. Because the FDA has no objection to the term as long as no artificial ingredients were added, even high-fructose corn syrup, a highly processed derivative, often appears in products labeled natural. The 2026 status. Despite decades of consumer petitions, natural remains a marketing adjective rather than a medical or safety standard. It is a psychological trigger designed to make you ignore the reality of a product's metabolic impact. 2. Hormone-free. On poultry or pork. The reality. This is a classic case of a true but trivial claim. If you see hormone-free on a package of chicken or pork, you are paying for a claim that is already a federal requirement. Since the 1950s, the USDA has prohibited the use of artificial hormones in the production of all poultry and pigs in the United States. The regulation, because federal law mandates that all chicken and pork be hormone-free. A company using this label is essentially bragging about obeying the law. The misdirection: it creates a false hierarchy where you believe the hormone-free chicken is healthier than the one without the label. In reality, they are identical in that specific regard. Requirement. The USDA actually requires a disclaimer on these labels stating, federal regulations prohibit the use of hormones, but it is often printed in such a small font that consumers remain unaware of the universal standard. 3. Pasture-raised for eggs. The reality. Unlike organic, the term pasture-raised has no uniform federal standard or inspection process. While the USDA has definitions for free-range, access to the outdoors, pasture-raised is largely self-defined by the producer unless they seek a private, third-party certification. The outdoors myth. Without a specific third-party seal, like certified humane, pasture-raised could mean anything from a bird living in a vast field to a bird having a small door to a concrete porch. Legal weight. Because there is no legal requirement for the amount of space or the quality of the pasture, 2 different brands of pasture-raised eggs could have drastically different animal welfare realities. 2026 shift. Consumers in 2026 are increasingly looking for 108 square feet per bird stamps, which is a private standard, because they have realized the government-backed term pasture-raised carries no specific spatial mandate. 4. No added sugar. The reality. This label is a linguistic sleight of hand. While it legally means that no sucrose or additional syrup was added during processing, it says nothing about the total sugar content or the glycemic load of the product. Concentrated sugars. Many no added sugar fruit juices or bars use fruit juice concentrate to sweeten the product. Under current rules, this often counts as fruit rather than added sugar, yet it impacts your insulin levels almost identically to table sugar. Natural excess. A product can be 90% sugar from natural sources, like dates or grapes, and still legally claim no added sugar. Health trap. This label is often used to mask high-calorie, high-fructose profiles that contribute to metabolic dysfunction just as much as products with traditional sweeteners. 5. Non-GMO, without certification. The reality. Non-GMO is a claim that carries zero legal weight unless it is accompanied by the Non-GMO Project Verified seal. Because the FDA and USDA do not formally certify products as non-GMO, any company can print those letters on a box without third-party verification. The verification gap. Without the butterfly seal, you are relying solely on the company's word. There is no government-mandated testing or audit to prove that the ingredients were not cross-contaminated with GMO crops. The marketing trick: you will often see non-GMO on products where there is no GMO version in existence, like sea salt or water. This is known as fear marketing, where a company claims to be free of something that couldn't be there in the first place. The 2026 landscape: as bioengineering becomes more complex, the non-GMO label is becoming a major source of consumer confusion, often used to justify a 20 to 30% price premium on standard goods. 6. Made with whole grains. The reality: this is one of the most deceptive labels in the grain aisle. Under current FDA rules, a product can be labeled made with whole grains as long as it contains a measurable amount of whole grain, even if the primary ingredient is white, refined flour. The ratio issue: there is no legal requirement for the percentage of whole grains. A cracker could be 95% refined flour and 5% whole wheat and still carry this claim. The color illusion: manufacturers often add molasses or caramel coloring to whole grain breads to make them look dark and healthy, even if the fiber content is minimal. The 2026 pro tip: to avoid this myth, ignore the front of the box and look at the ingredient list. Unless whole grain name is the first ingredient, the label is a marketing exaggeration. 7. Free range for beef. The reality: while the USDA regulates free range for poultry, the term is virtually unregulated for beef. There is no standard federal definition or space requirement for free-range cattle. Access versus reality. For poultry, free-range only requires access to the outdoors for an unspecified amount of time. For beef, even this vague rule is poorly enforced. A cow that spent 99% of its life in a crowded feedlot but had access to a small dirt patch could technically be marketed this way. The confusion: consumers often confuse free-range with grass-fed or grass-finished. In reality, a free-range cow could still be fed a 100% grain diet in a confined environment. The 2026 standard: genuine pasture-raised beef is now almost exclusively labeled as regenerative or grass-finished, as free-range has lost all credibility as a welfare or health indicator. 8. Doctor recommended. The reality: this is perhaps the most audacious ghost label. There is no legal requirement regarding how many doctors must recommend a product, what their specialty is, or if they were paid for the recommendation. The sample size: doctor recommended could literally mean that a single doctor, perhaps one on the company's payroll, said the product was fine. There is no peer-reviewed data or clinical consensus required to use this phrase. The specificity gap: the label doesn't specify what the doctor is recommending it for. They might recommend a sugary cereal as a better alternative to skipping breakfast, which is a very low bar for health. The trust fallacy: in 2026, this term is increasingly viewed as a red flag. Truly healthy foods, like broccoli or salmon, rarely feel the need to tell you that a doctor approves of them. The label is usually a preemptive defense for a processed product. Navigating the 2026 food labyrinth. The organic myth isn't that organic food is fake. It's that the halo of organic certification is used to protect a host of other, legally meaningless terms. In 2026, a certified organic snack can still be all-natural, non-GMO, and doctor-recommended, creating a fortress of perceived health that may not exist. The why behind this labeling chaos is a regulatory lag where marketing innovation consistently outpaces federal law. To eat truly clean in 2026, you must become a label skeptic. If a claim isn't backed by a specific, third-party, audited seal, like USDA Organic, Non-GMO Project Verified, or Certified Humane, you should treat it as marketing fiction. The goal of these 8 labels isn't to inform you. It's to make you feel comfortable spending more money on a product that hasn't actually earned your trust.